I'm gonna put it out there. Our relationship, although it is very new, it started in our DMs. You sent me a message on Instagram, and I was hesitant to respond because I wanted to go about the proper channels. But you introduced me to your music through a quick message. I'm gonna read it, Ash. Hold on for a second. I'm bringing my phone up right
Oh,
here.
cute. Oh, okay.
And it was
You're
one of
gonna
my
embarrass me.
no, but it was one of the coolest things ever because it shows your why isn't my it's not even like do you not recognize my face phone without a
I
mask
was
on
actually worried
nowadays?
because I saw that you saw it and you hearted it, and I was like, oh no, did he think that I'm kind of a weirdo?
No,
Maybe
I loved
maybe
it.
he doesn't like me.
Shut up. The exact opposite. And I wanted to hold on. I'm gonna read this message for everybody just so they understand your dedication to your music and how personal it is to you. And it's like we go to pop radio, my song, super nerve-wracking and exciting, but you use the scary face emoji and the monkey emoji.
Yeah, I love that emoji.
But what you wrote in here is your first time hearing your song on the radio, you cried for hours. So we're gonna get to some of those some of those stories that you choose to tell and share and why. But let's first start with how did the career path happen for you? Like, what was it that in your heart made you fully know and understand that music was what you wanted to do for a living?
I mean, I when I get asked that question, I always find it tough to answer just because I feel like music's always been the only thing that's felt really right in my
Yeah.
life. It feels like everything in my life is very fleeting, or even going down to the like I got married and then divorced. It's like
Yeah.
what lasts in my life? What can I always rely on? And even friendships,
Come and
people are
go. Yeah. People
people.
grow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I always feel like, music's just been the one thing that I've always felt like I could rely on, and that I trusted. And so it just felt like a no-brainer that I had to pursue it. Like it
Yeah.
had to be a part of my life. I didn't think I was good enough to be an artist, so I just kind of went to
Really?
college for music, but I was just
Yeah,
like,
when
I'm
you
just
go to
gonna.
places like Berkeley, I mean, that is a very prestigious. When you think about musicians who have, stepped onto that campus or taken virtual classes or whatever, I mean, that's a
Mm.
solid decision, And when did you feel like you were good enough, or when did you really kind of, I don't know, hunker down on
It
that belief
hasn't
that you were the
happened
right
yet.
person?
No.
No way, Ash. Come on,
No,
no, fix
no,
that,
I
girl.
feel
Fix that.
I'm confident. I'm pretty confident now.
Yeah,
You wouldn't wear two pairs of
you would
sunglasses if
if you
you
didn't.
weren't confident. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. I think I just grew up. I think a lot of my insecurities came from some of my own immaturity, and I think it just took growing up a little bit and realizing that
Yeah.
I have a unique voice in this world, and if I can make some positive impact with it, and do what I
Yeah.
love and pay my rent doing what I love, then freaking that's what I'm gonna
That's like
do,
the best. Yeah. When you can
Yeah.
actually find a paycheck, based off of, and a lot of people ask me that same question, it's you really start to, sit with it in your mind, like, damn, man, I'm really blessed and lucky to do what I love and to be able to, like you said, pay rent, take care of the
Yeah.
bills, do those
Yeah,
kind
in
of
the
things.
world, I think that there's enough insecurity in the world. And so I think we need more people who are just like, this is who I am, this is what
Yeah.
I'm good at, and this is what I have to offer. And then, man, think how much more wonderful the world would be if people just
Totally.
owned their stuff,
Yeah, just really
So,
believe yourself and follow that passion, whatever it is that you have. It was a demo type of a thing, right? If my memory serves me right, I mean, all throughout Nashville, it was you were just singing demos for a while. To be that
yeah.
persistent, to really kind of go after it. Now, when you look back on those years of all the hard work, do you have those moments where you think about how proud you are of the singer songwriter you become now, thinking about where it all kind of started?
Maxwell. I mean, frick. Yeah. I mean, Nashville in particular, I was doing like 2 songwriting sessions a day for maybe like 3 months at least, and it was like songwriting boot camp. And yeah, I think I knew that I needed that time to become the writer, you know, that I wanted to be. I needed to like put myself through this my own songwriting boot camp, and it was so good for me. But yeah, I mean, I'm really proud. I don't know how many people feel that way, and it's almost a weird thing to say too, because it's not really like culturally
acceptable to like, it really, it's like, when you could, because it comes off as like you're big-headed or arrogant or, you know, that type of
egotistical or I mean, some of the most humble people I know are the people who really, like I was saying, own their stuff and are confident and proud of what they do. My friend Phineas is, you know, one of the most humble people I know, but he knows he's a genius.
He knows he's
good.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I want to start with some of those friends in the biz that you have. I mean, those who have watched and followed the career a little bit and have showed up to a show or two may have seen, you know, Ashe featuring the Chainsmokers.
Ashe featuring the Chainsmokers. I love that. That's so awesome.
Have seen and know your friendship and you know, the strength of the friendship with you and Quinn XCII. You know, one of the coolest dudes on earth. What's it mean to you to be able to call some of these
Mike?
people? Oh, I love Mike. Mike is like him, the pup, his wife. Like Mike is one of the coolest people on earth. Like let's keep it 100.
I'm gonna call him after this and tell him you said that. That's so.
He is. Let's hold on for a second. Here's what we're gonna. This is like the most interesting interview that I've ever done on Zoom. Let's see if he is. I'm gonna see if he is even as cool as a guy as I think that he is, and we're gonna see if. Let's see if Mike. We're gonna FaceTime him. You think he'll answer our FaceTime? So
I honestly think he would.
I think he will. We're gonna see. He might be busy. He might be doing his quarantine quiz show that he does quite often on Instagram Live. Which I won't be mad if he doesn't answer. But
honestly, I'll call. We'll just keep going back and forth. Let's just keep calling him. He'll be like, "What the heck is happening?
What is going on?" Yeah, I don't think that he's gonna get after my call here. But let's still talk about the the friendships. Butt. Yeah, what a little jerk.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the friendships that you've been able to, you know, garner and really strengthen over the years with some of these awesome musicians as well.
I mean, just bringing up, you know, the Chainsmokers. We toured, you know, together really briefly, but I knew them through another friend of mine named Sean Frank, and we all kind of it's so easy in the music industry when people are cool to become friends, because it's like there's a lot of people that aren't cool. So if you meet people that are cool, you're just immediately like, oh, we're on the same, you know.
Yeah. You want to stay close to those people.
Totally. And so, they're incredible. Obviously, Quinn XCII, I toured with him for a long time. I opened for Lauv, Ari, who's just like an impeccable human being. Louis Capaldi, I opened for him when he was like a teeny
baby.
We were playing like 250 cap rooms on that tour, and I mean, he was still belting, and he was as wonderful as he is now, super famous. But just the most honest and genuine. My friends are cool, man.
That's what I say, to have those cool friends that are there on this journey, to have those 250 cap rooms, but to still give your all. For artists and musicians, even fans who not only turn up to those shows, but the massive stadium shows, how equally important is it for you to give, you know, 150%? It sounds like a pretty stupid question, but, you know, it doesn't matter what the size of the venue is, just to really be on that, because who knows when those massive World War Joy tours are going to continue to be a regular thing for you. But I remember hanging out with Alex and Drew at Pasha in New York when there was like 200 people here. The club doesn't even exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
the club really couldn't handle you right then. That was a bad joke. That was super bad.
I got it.
I mean, I think it's so important, because I mean, there's shows I've played to 6, 7, 8 people before, and to them, I mean, I'm sure it's a different energy when they're surrounded by a bunch of other people, but regardless of if those 5 or 6 people are in a massive crowd or it's just them, they're still human beings. They've still
Yes.
shown up to support you and your art. And if you take them for granted, then you should quit. It's like
Yeah.
those 5 people are the people who are going to stick with you
Forever.
years and years and years
Yeah.
from now. It's like you can't, yeah, it's so important to not take. I just got off a tour, well, not just got, but my first headline tour was last fall, and it was a 250 to 500 cap room tour.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, I'll never tour like that again, probably. And that was the most meaningful. I mean, playing like the Troubadour in LA, here in LA,
Oh
and I
God.
played
Iconic.
that was like a life-changing day. And I think it was the Bowery in New York.
Another
And
dope venue.
so dope. And I was like, these are memories that, I'm never gonna get to make again. So
Yeah.
yeah, those fans that showed up well before Moral of the Story exploded, like those are the fans I know are with me, forever and ever.
Those day
And then
ones.
now, yeah, and now we're getting like a whole new like
It's a whole
group.
new, yeah, it's a whole new
So cool.
journey. Yeah, it's a whole new
Yeah.
journey. So you mentioned it, and let's get into the new single, Moral of the Story, because anyone who follows you on social media have maybe seen and come across this video where you kind of explain a little bit about this particular song and how it came about. You just kind of just busted into the
Mhm.
room and was like, I got a divorce and I'm gonna write a dope song. And then this kind of developed. Yeah,
Yeah.
talk about this particular story and what moral of the story really does mean to you.
I mean, I think this record, and I'm so glad that it's this song that's having its moment, or that is sort of
Yeah.
making me relevant in the the music industry. I think it's a really, really cool place to be in. Also, people are like, Moral of the Story is such a weird song that like I get to do whatever the heck I want after this song. Like my label, my managers, everyone is just like, we have no idea what she's gonna do next after that. So that's kind of a cool position to be
It's a
in.
dope
But
place to be in. Yeah.
so many artists would kill to be in this position. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just a really vulnerable song. It was a song that I needed to write to sort of, process what I was going through in my life. And yeah, it's just, I'm so glad that it's this song. It means it's one of the most important records to me.
And what
Um,
about the collaboration process? I mean, you mentioned one of your buddies earlier who really helped put his musical genius on it, Phineas. What was it like to be able to have this be a story that you wanted to tell and have it fully come together with, some of your closest songwriter and production buddies, to really see it through the way that it felt so right for you?
mm, Well, I've said this before, but Phineas was one of the first people I called. He was actually the very first person I called, not when I filed for divorce, but the day I officially left my husband. So
Wow.
it was before I actually filed. It was like the day that we were breaking up. And I
Hmm.
called him and I was crying and was just like, I just blew up my entire life. So what do I do now? And he was just, he was there for me in such a massive way, and helped me get through that process so much that it was so serendipitous that he would be a part of Moral of the
Wow.
Story.
Wow.
Like
Yeah,
I don't think the song could have come out unless he had his hands on it. You know what I mean?
for sure.
So it's such a cool thing too, because 30 years from now, we're gonna look back on this song and that time of our lives, and it feel nothing but pride,
For
and
sure. Yeah. Because
it's
there is a
really
lot of
cool.
strength in this record. I mean, when you listen to it, there's strength in the vulnerability. And that's what I found in it was, you're
Yeah.
sharing Parts of it, if it's totally autobiographical, cool, but just certain parts that I could draw and I can relate to. And you're talking about, painting, and you remember me, but we fought throughout the whole damn time. I mean, who hasn't been in a situation where you think that you're with the person you love the most, doing the most, passionate and fun thing, but it just turns out to be like a complete shit show. I mean, it's just, we've all been there. So to your point, it's a song that for years, it's a timeless record for moments like that, because you offer up so much of who you are, so much of your heart, and so much of just a regular person's perspective on this particular, snapshot of what's going on. And lastly, before we get to, a little performance here, what did it mean to you when it was, when like the folks from Netflix, the whole, To All the Boys, like when that became a thing, like how did that come about, where they were like, this is a song that we need to, snatch into one of the most popular, movies, TV shows, or, whatever of our generation?
I mean, I mean, they called us, they reached out to us to put the song in the movie. And I loved To All the Boys. I loved the first movie. And so I was like, oh, this will be so cool. It's in the second movie, but we didn't know how much it was going to be in it. And and also you just don't know, like, not every movie sync or, song that you get put in a film. Or I have a song in a Taco Bell commercial. I know that's really funny, but it's been in a Taco Bell commercial and they've used it like over a year.
All the time.
I was like, I have
Wait, which one is it? Because we definitely have all seen it, I'm sure.
It's called Afterlife, and they've used it for like 6 different commercials.
After we get off of this chat, I'm gonna go and watch every single Taco Bell commercial on YouTube.
It's like gun 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 gun. Yeah.
I needed to do my research. I had no idea. Look.
God love Taco Bell and all my free tacos, but nothing has come of my song being in a Taco Bell commercial. Like nothing other than me getting free tacos. And so, which is massive. But so I don't know. I think when I found out the song was going to be in a movie, I was excited, but I didn't know that. I was hopeful that it might ignite something for the song, but I didn't.
Yes.
I did not know that this was going to happen. No way could I have predicted that it was going to, launch the song.
When you don't search for that validation, when you don't do it for that reason, frontward facing, that's when things like this happen. That's when these moments really happen. I mean, I'm a firm believer in when you do it for the right reason, when you're just putting your true essence, your true story out there, and it's just a relatable conversation that we're all able to have. And you're not saying like, I'm creating this record to put in a movie, or to put in a TV show.
Or to be famous.
Or to be exactly. And I've had conversations like this with so many people, with with just tons of people up and down the spectrum. But it's really, really cool, and it's that much more rewarding when it does happen this organically. And congratulations, and you deserve it.
That's the good word to use, rewarding. Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I want to shut up for a little bit, and you got a little piano back there. You got a mic set up.
I do.
So do you think that I can
Let me move you around.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me put you over here.
Yeah.
That would be very disappointing. I'm gonna move you around. I think you'll have a better view over here real quick.
And let me ask you this as we
apartment.
All right. So are you going loco in the house yet, or like how comfortable has your quarantine been thus far?
It's been honestly pretty good. I think that. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep, we're hanging.
Okay. I'm in my pajama bottoms.
Listen, girl, me too. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't get out my tie-dye shorts either, so don't even.
I was gonna say, I was like not thinking you were gonna see my bottom half. You're now seeing my bottom half. Darn it. Okay.
We're all friends.
My quarantine's been pretty good. I'm such a homebody. I love being home. So I think that at the end of the day, I was like, I get to be with my guy. I get to do things like this from the comfort of my apartment. And I mean, I would have loved to be in person with you. Obviously, you seem like such a cool person too.
Oh,
So
thank you. Likewise. We're gonna get that moment. We're gonna get that chance for sure.
exactly. I was
Promise.
gonna say we're going to have that moment, but until then, this is pretty cool. All right.
We're gonna get there. All right. So here we go. So this is like a little quarantine serenade. I'm loving this, and I'm gonna be very selfish and say that this is a show just for me. Not to disregard all the hundreds of thousands of people who are going to watch this interview and video afterwards, but
no pressure, thanks.
no pressure, don't screw it up, but I don't think that you're going to.
Don't
Ash,
mess this up.
do what you do, girlfriend. This is moral of the story, and I'm so hyped.
All right, let's do it. So I never really knew you. God, I really tried to. Blindsided, addicted. Thought we could really do this, but really I was foolish. Hindsight, it's obvious. Talking with my lawyer, she said, "Where'd you find this guy?" I said, "Young people fall in love with the wrong people sometimes. Some mistakes get made, that's all right, that's okay. You can think that you're in love when you're really just in pain. Some mistakes get made, that's all right, that's okay. In the end, it's better for me. That's the moral of the story, babe." It's funny how a memory turns into a bad dream when running wild turns volatile. Remember how we painted our house just like my grandparents did? So romantic, but we fought the whole time. Should have seen the signs. Yeah, talking with my mother, she said, "Where'd you find this guy?" I said, "Some people fall in love with the wrong people sometimes. Some mistakes get made, that's all right, that's okay. You can think that you're in love when you're really just in pain. Some mistakes get made, that's all right, that's okay. In the end, it's better for me. That's the moral of the story, babe." They say it's better to have loved and lost and never to have loved at all. Well, that could be a load of but I just need to tell you, well, some mistakes get made, that's all right, that's okay. You can think that you're in love when you're really just engaged. Some mistakes get made, that's all right, that's okay. In the end, it's better for me. That's the moral of the story. Some mistakes get made, that's all right, that's okay. Some mistakes get made, that's all right, that's okay.
Boom. Boom goes the dynamite. Holy crap.
I always wish I could do that.
I was busting up I had the lighter going. Oh my God. Okay, so here's what I want to. Well, thank you for that. First and foremost, that was so rad. Yeah, to hear every note, to hear the passion in the story is, again, going back to what we've been talking about this whole time, just being open and honest. And I've said this a couple of times to a few other artists as well. It's so refreshing to see fans really come to the music that really is honest now and listening with such an intelligent ear. And it's like the coolest thing. That's why we're seeing these millions and millions of streams. And that's why we're seeing so many people actively search for songs like yours. I mean, that's just like,
oh, it's crazy.
it's crazy. It's freaking crazy. All right, last, Ash, before we get out, I just want to throw some random getting to know you quarantine edition questions out there, just so we can have like a real quick, like chatty chat. So
I'm gonna move you to the good light again.
Right.
Make me look good. All right, let's
on a typical quarantine day. I mean, do you get dressed, or is it just like let's kick it in pajamas most of the day? There it is. PJs, Disneyland sweatshirt.
It really does depend on my mood. If I go for, like today, I didn't have time to go for a run, and if I go for a run, I'll usually I have an excuse to shower and put the whole thing on.
Like we're all dealing with, for sure. I understand that. Where has that favorite spot in the house been so far?
It's actually outside my house in the morning. I wake up at like 5 a.m. every morning.
Are you crazy?
I am.
Okay.
I'm super. Are you crazy? I just really love when the world is quiet, and it's never quiet except for 5 a.m. So I just wake up early, and actually I can show you. There's a little table outside.
Oh yeah, that is your kick it spot.
I just go out there, have my coffee and journal and be a hippie, and it's so good.
I'm digging that. Let's see. A lot of people have turned to quarantine snacking. Do you have a go-to snack?
Wheat thins and hummus. It's kind of gross, but it's good.
No, hey, it matches. I mean, I think I've done that quite a few times. Yeah, that's all right. Wheat thins and I'm going to say on the levels of cracker, wheat thin is top 3 for sure.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sometimes it doubles as a lunch when life is busy.
When life is busy. And last question here, and it's not really so much quarantine related as it is, I would like to think of it as maybe my Barbara Walters question of the interview, and just this idea of like, well, I mean, it's not too heavy, but I just want to know, what would you love fans who are not only your day ones, but also those new fans that are finding your music, what would you love for them to know about you and why you do this?
Whoa.
Maybe it was kind of heavy.
Some Barbara Walters.
That is some, yeah.
That's good. Those are the questions that I really love. What do I want them to know? I mean, I want them to know how much I really care about all this. I mean, I've never worked so hard for something in my life. I mean, and even in quarantine with all this,
you're busting your butt.
I am busting. It's a lot. And so I would love for people to know, especially the fans who've just kind of found me. Maybe it feels like an overnight thing, and
but it's not.
It can feel discouraging for people too, because they're like, oh man, life doesn't happen to me fast. Like I don't get successful fast. And you got to know, like, I've been working so hard for this for well over, 5 years I've been working, more than that, something like that. So I just care a lot. You got to love and care a lot. So.
Well, it comes through in the music. And this song really has been just a shining beacon that I think that the world kind of needs right now. And it's that openness, it's that honesty. And I want to say just thank you for being willing to go there, because I know it, as easy it was for you to bust into the room and say, I just got a divorce, I'm going to write a dope ass song. I know it had to be tough to really come to that moment and to be willing to go there and to let us all into that part of your life. Thank you for being that open, because it's tough for a lot of people, and you offer, like I said, a nice little shining light for us to look towards. So good on you. Good on you.
Thank you so much. One of my love languages is words of affirmation. So you're just making me feel really loved, and I appreciate that.
I'm just calling it like I see it, dude. So listen, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this crap together. We're gonna continue to flatten these curves. If I make it back home to Cali at some point in time, Like, show me the nearest In-N-Out burger or Roberto's. We'll get down on some Mexican
Do you
food.
like beer or
I
wine?
love beer. I do. I'll do it all.
I'll take you. We'll find ourselves a pub or something.
We'll find ourselves. We'll go. We'll chill out, and as soon as you make it out to New York, we'll find it's on me. Vice versa. You know what I mean? We'll find like a little dive to kind of hang out, and we'll get it all cracking. Sound good?
Perfect. Sounds amazing.
All right, girlfriend.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for taking the time. And now I can reply to the DM and say,
oh, no.
This did not suck. This did not suck. Boom.
I'm gonna call Quinn XCII too right
yeah,
now.
call him and say what's up.
I'm gonna give him all sorts of hell for not picking up.
Right on. Enjoy the rest of your day, love. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye.